Hi folks, Nella here again with Horu and Isaac and Kale. And I thought I'd give all of you an update on how things are going with sorting characters into the Curiosity Shop. I figured today is a good day to do that because, well, for one thing, I actually figured out how to place a few of the characters into the shop, and secondly because I'm wearing one of my shirts with the logo that I made for the Curiosity Shop, so why not do it today? So yeah, if you have no clue what I'm talking about, probably watch I think 2 or 3 videos back, and I kind of talked about how I'm at a weird place in my collection and I'm unhappy with how it is as a whole. So to try and fix that problem, to régler ce problème-là, I apologize by the way if I lapse into French. I've been listening to French music and doing homework in French, and I had school in French, so my brain's kind of half working in French right now, half in English. So if there's any long pauses, know that I'm probably trying to search for the word in English. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm trying to solve the problem that I'm facing, which is that I kind of feel like my focus has been drawn away from the Curiosity Shop, and I'm trying to refocus on the center story of the Curiosity Shop and the workers and the residents of the Curiosity Shop, instead of just the people who are kind of on the periphery of the outskirts. That's the English word, the outskirts of the story. So that'd be the customers, the people who kind of trade with the Curiosity Shop. So I'm trying to bring the focus back to the shop more directly. And I've kind of half succeeded, by which I mean of the 8 characters that I was trying to bring into the Curiosity Shop story, that are shelved. By the way, they're already shelved. I'm just trying to bring them into the more central story. Half of them I succeeded in doing so. The other half, for their individual stories to make sense, they can't be at the Curiosity Shop. They can have contact with the Curiosity Shop, but they can't live or work there. And actually, in pretty much those 4 cases of the characters that I can't bring into the shop, it's actually because it's really important for their story and for their development in their individual stories that they are kind of isolated, and that they don't have this huge amount of people that they can talk to and kind of bounce ideas off of, which of course if they lived or worked at the Curiosity Shop, they would have that wider field of knowledge and of people to consult. So yeah, so they can't be directly in the Curiosity Shop. But half of them I have managed to bring into the Curiosity Shop more directly. So that's good news. First off, I'm going to start with KO, because not in my last video, because my last video was a prompt response, but 2 videos ago, I kind of talked about KO and the problems I was having with him. KO is my Fallindoll force, who before was Little Chaos, but basically I was really ambivalent towards that character and that depiction, and it just wasn't working out. So I'm trying some different stuff, and actually because of a wonderful suggestion on that video, and I'm blanking out on who suggested it, I apologize. But the person who did comment on that video said that when she looked at KO here with his ears poking through his wig, that she imagined him being kind of like a little totem that a little boy would carry around to remind him to be good and to be honorable and to be strong. And that did kind of stick with me, the idea that he'd be carried around by a kid. And this is what I have so far for KO. The idea for KO is that he was a children's toy that was lovingly carried around in a pocket for many, many years. And that's why, well, I'm going to redo his face up. But there's actually a few smudges on his face from when I tried to do whiskers and then I wiped it off, but there was still a bit of paint left. So it kind of looks like he's got like little scars or like little pieces of dirt on his face, which, if he's being carried around in the pocket of a little kid, well, he's probably going to get a few dings and a few scratches and a few scuffs, as well as his hair is just generally very messy because he's carried around in a pocket. So the idea for KO now and how it ties into the Curiosity Shop is that he was a children's toy, and as happens, the kid grew up, and I think he did get passed around, you know, every few years to a different kid of the family, until they also kind of outgrew it and then they gave it to their kids. But eventually he was just sitting on a shelf and someone said, "Why do we keep that ratty old thing here? We should just give it away." So little KO was given away to a thrift store or an antique store. I'm not sure yet, but a normal antique store, not a magical one like the Curiosity Shop, a normal, regular, everyday sort of secondhand store. So there was something a bit strange about that secondhand store, because one day, who walked in but Miss Celeste, shopkeeper of the Curiosity Shop. And she bought some items. She bought some china plates, and she bought a crystal swan, and she saw little KO, and she decided to bring him with her to the Curiosity Shop. And I think that she had forgot something about the Curiosity Shop, and that is that things from outside the Curiosity Shop don't always stay that same size once they enter the Curiosity Shop. So the world where KO was from, that he was made in, he was actually precisely the same size that I'm holding right now. You know, fits with a little kid. Not a super little kid, but a little kid, fits in the bag. But the thing is, once he was brought into the Curiosity Shop, he stayed this size. Everything else got smaller, but he stayed the same size. So he is now the same size as kids who would have carried him around in their pocket. It's a bit weird. It's a bit strange for him, but it's nowhere near as strange as what happened when he entered the Curiosity Shop and he was carried in a bag over the threshold. Because not only did he stay the same size, which was bigger than the bag he was in, so he fell over the bag because he went big, but all of a sudden he was alive, and he had never been alive before. He kind of had vague memories of being carried around in a pocket, and being tossed on the floor, and being left in an attic, and being dusty and dirty, but loved. But he wasn't really alive. But now he's at the Curiosity Shop, and now he is definitely alive. So he lives with these statues in one of the hallways of Curiosity Shop. These statues, there's Untitled, who is a bust of kind of an SD-sized doll. It's just the head on a bust, and he is very opinionated. And then there's Simone, and there's Peder, of course, the two main statue characters I have. And there's also, who else is there? Oh, right, and there's, hopefully sometime in the future, Batchick's Lagoon, will be kind of a cabaret singer lastly, but certainly not leastly, especially in Kao's childlike mind, or yeah, kind of childlike mind, is Whisp, who also belonged to a child, but she was a nightlight, and she's actually she's a winged humanoid, so she actually looks kind of like a fairy, you know, big kind of bug wings, and she's completely clear, and she doesn't speak, but she can change colors, and change kind of the brightness of the colors, and that's how she communicates. But anyway, so Kao lives with the statues, and Whisp in the hallway of the curiosity shop. So he is firmly in there. And also firmly at the curiosity shop now is Horu and Isaac and Noah. And Noah, I would show you, except for he's not on the body right now. Benji's on the body. And Benji is smirking at me because he is on the body and Noah isn't. But yes, so Noah and Isaac and Horu are now tied more directly with the central story of the curiosity shop. They don't live at the curiosity shop though. There is no way, Jose, that this little guy with his aura of chaos is going to be let in a busy store with lots of customers and lots of workers. You don't want to introduce a being of pure chaos into an environment like that. And of course, you can't have Isaac not be let somewhere and then let Horu go there, because that's just unfair. So how they're tied more directly to the curiosity shop now is that their guardian, Noah, works at the curiosity shop, but he isn't a worker who also lives at the curiosity shop. He does have an apartment outside the curiosity shop, and that's where Noah and Isaac and Horu all live. But Noah does work at the curiosity shop, and he has quite the unique job title, let's put it that way. One of the things is, even though the curiosity shop has so many workers, so many customers, and so many bizarre things for sale, and so many people are dealing with so much stuff, particularly the people of the night shift, they deal with some pretty heavy existential crises and trauma in their past. Even though there's all of that stuff going on, there's not really much conflict. People don't really get angry at each other, they don't try and sabotage each other. And part of that is because of Noah. And the reason I say it's partly because of Noah is because Noah's job is to make sure that if there are any problems, that they get nipped in the bud before they develop into something more serious. So he's kind of like a counselor and a mediator and a spiritual advisor all mixed into one. And it's very much appreciated when he does come to the curiosity shop, because he brings with him his aura of peace that just kind of calms and soothes everything down. So you can actually really talk about stuff that really is bugging you, or things that would usually make someone's temper flare, or make them burst into tears, without them reacting so strongly. That's all because of Noah's presence. However, he, like I said, doesn't actually live at the curiosity shop because, well, he has these two kids to take care of. So he has some way of communicating with the workers at the curiosity shop, and I'm not sure yet whether it's via mirrors, which kind of hope it is, because that would be kind of awesome. But may be a combination of some sort of magical means, like a mirror, and something more mundane, like a telephone. But it does solve one problem I was facing with Noah, and that was the problem of what on earth he did for a living. Because I knew that Noah and Isaac and Horu all have to move fairly frequently, because none of them seem to really be aging. And Noah's quite not aware of this, but the kids are more aware of it. At least in regards to Noah. Noah's quite aware that these two aren't really aging. Because, how can I put this? These two at least are embodiments or partial embodiments of abstract concepts. Immortal abstract concepts that have been with humanity since the dawn of time. And so it makes sense that these two wouldn't really be aging. The reason Noah hasn't quite clued in that he's also included in the not really aging normally category is because he's kind of in denial about it. Isaac and Horu very, very strongly believe that Noah isn't fully human himself. They don't really have any proof. The only real proof they have is that he's the only adult who is willing to deal with them. And especially deal with Isaac. And he's also the only adult that both of them have encountered who is completely immune to their powers. Horu can't frighten Noah, and Isaac can't make Noah be more chaotic, be more irrational. It just doesn't work. So Horu and Isaac believe that Noah is the embodiment of order, and therefore Isaac, chaos is opposite. Horu's kind of a neutral party in that because she's fear, and fear exists both with order and with chaos. So yes, that's the update. Noah works at the Curiosity Shop now, which means these two could very well be interacting with all of the workers of the Curiosity Shop. Not super frequently, but you know, every so often. Every so often they might just turn up, and I might just cause a little bit of havoc for everyone. And that's it. Oh, wait, no, I have one last update regarding KO here. So, yeah, he keeps turning his head down. Don't know why, but he keeps doing it. Anyway, KO no longer has red eyes. I gave him, blue eyes. And they're kind of a darker blue. And they have a ring of yellow, and the ring of yellow is actually more pronounced on one side than on the other. But actually it reflects light better than his old eyes, and the pupils are more clearly defined than his old eyes. So I'm liking how it's looking. I'm gonna have to change his face up, but I'm liking the new direction that he's going in. So yes, that is it. This video is way longer than I thought. I hope that if you did manage to get to the end of this, have a cookie or a glass of tea, or not a glass, but or a cup of tea on me, as a little winner's prize for reaching the end of this crazy long video. And yeah, if you actually got to the end or any of this video piqued your interest, leave a comment below, because I'm actually curious whether anyone watches. If anyone's watching. Okay. So yeah, that's it. Oh. The logo. I have to clearly display the logo. If you're wondering, that's actually, that was originally supposed to be a depiction of Miss Celeste when she was very young. On the logo. She is the face of the Curiosity Shop. It's kind of silly. But anyway, that's it. Okay. Bye, everyone.